Hello everybody, hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor McGilligan here. We are back with another episode of, well, it's going to be the rumour mill, I think. Don't you worry, it's Packard Bell today. We've not gone Strongbow, we haven't gone Viduka 27 today. It's Packard Bell, one of my favourite shirts. I've been trying to get hold of the blue one, the light blue one, for years. For absolute just a ridiculous amount of time. Absolutes. Indefinitely, I've been looking for this shirt. So if anybody knows a blue Packard Bell, maybe with Mickey Bridges on the back, number 8, I'd be really appreciative. Maybe we're back here with another episode of the Room Mill, I guess you can call it. And it's match day, so I wanted to be talking about everything that's going on tonight. But I wanted to talk about a few things as well that have been occurring on the surface of the Championship / Leeds United. Before we get into the thick of it, everybody, please make sure you are liking the video. Please make sure you're sticking round for tonight, where we have a One Leeds watch along. Yes, everybody, it rolls off the tongue. A One Leeds watch along, live from around about 7:30, where we are going through everything that is Leeds United. We'll have your player ratings. We'll have your instant match reaction. Tomorrow we'll have 3 things we learned. We're going to be piling out that content, and hopefully it's on the back of a Leeds United win. Let me just get into a few of your guys' comments. Morning, evening, Connor from Oz. How you, mate? Hope you're all good. Hey, Connor, great to catch you live, YouTube, buddy. Thanks for joining, Michael. Hey, Michael. Good morning, Katrina. It is bloody freezing, Katrina. I've actually got a little bit of a hack for you guys. I don't know if you've got a heated rail, you know, where you put your clothes over. So I've gone and got like a heated, I think they call it a clothes horse. I think that's what they call it. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? But it's a clothes horse, right? It heats up. Honestly, a little tip from me. It heats up the entire flat. So, you know, if you want to heat up a room, get yourself a rail. Costs absolutely nothing when it comes to heating, and it's better than shoving that thing on, because it's going to cost me about £400 a day. Morning, Connor. Hello, Costa Agenda. Hope you're all good. Katrina, Danny's in the building. Everybody's saying hello to each other. So yeah. Right, well, let's get into some of the updates today. So several sources this morning are saying that Leeds United do not want to lose Crysencio Somerville and Willie Gnonto in the January window, and apparently Leeds are eyeing 2 loan signings at the ahead of the window. It's believed that the Yorkshire will have a decent budget for permanent deals, but with a number of first teamers out on loan, they will need to make sales, and that excuse me, it makes complete sense. And listen, in a fantasy world, I'm saying Leeds go and sign 4 players. In a lovely world, I'm saying 3. In an okay world, I'm saying 2. You know, I'm not, because of what I'm seeing at the minute, and I know we were chatting about it yesterday on the debrief. If you've not checked the debrief out, everyone make sure you do. It was a really good episode last night. But I'm not too disappointed if we don't go out and get 4. I'd love 4. I'd adore 3. But if we're to go out and get a left back and a striker who can challenge Joel Perot / Jorginho Rutter, that'd do me. Because I think we've got enough. As long as we kept hold of a Charlie Cresswell, we keep hold of a Willie Gnonto, it's a successful January. And especially if you can keep hold of Crysencio Somerville, because that one simply cannot get away from us. He's far too good. Mike says Leeds won't sign anyone unless we sell anyone. You could be right there, buddy. You could be right. Massive boost for tonight's game. Jed Spence is going to be back in the squad. I don't think he's going to start. Excuse me. Do I think he'll get 5 or 10 minutes? Yes. And it's just going to be great to see him back in a Leeds United shirt. Gabe was saying last night that it could be a case of Leeds United getting into a phase where it's him back and then him out, then him back, then him out. And we've seen that before with loan players, but you're hoping with Jed that he's actually going to be able to get a successful latter end of the season. It's going to be like a new signing, everyone. We all know that. We're all ready for a Jed Spence masterclass when it comes to him being back into the fold and offering a bit of Premier League class, a bit of Premier League class, because I think he is that standard, and him and Joe Rodon on that right-hand side of the defence. It's something I'm really, really looking forward to seeing, and if we can get him in, maybe get him a few more minutes for Middlesbrough, and then the next game we can start him, that would be a really, really good point and a really good boost for this Leeds United side. It's going to be like a new signing. Matt is in the building, says 3 points and a clean sheet would be amazing. Minimum 2 goals to get back into 3rd place. And obviously Matt is talking about 3rd place there, because if you guys don't know, West Bromwich Albion went 3rd last night. And isn't it funny? We're all talking about Southampton. We're all talking about all these other teams in and around us. but we're not really taking them seriously. The top four have been serious. You know, you look at Southampton, Leeds, Leicester, Ipswich. They're the serious boys. Surely, Connor. Well, no. Now West Brom are in the race. You know, and 2 clean sheets as well. They've got a bit of a formidable defence at the minute. You know, beating Ipswich 2-0, obviously winning last night as well. And Carlos Corberán did this at Huddersfield. He made them very, 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 very hard to beat. And that's because I was covering a lot of the Yorkshire teams. Huddersfield Town fans were saying the exact same thing. He makes it difficult to beat. You know, that he focused really on the defence. That's why he was a little bit different to Bielsa. It wasn't hell for leather press and football. He focused a lot more on the defence and the structure, whereas obviously Bielsa was free-flowing. There were 2 managers with very similar ethoses, but very different ethoses at the same time, Corberán and Bielsa. So that's why when people were shouting for Corberán, I was almost saying, well, you can, but it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be very, very different to what it once was. Keen to see Spencer Byram in. Corberán's had no money to spend. Gavin, he didn't at Huddersfield, mate. He didn't have any money to spend at Huddersfield. He seems to just thrive in that environment, really. So, yeah, West Bromwich Albion gone 3rd, and now Leeds have some new competition. It's a massive game tonight for us. We all know it's a massive game. We don't want to let West Brom into the fold, really, but they've gained some real momentum. Now, I don't want to look too far ahead, but some positives from last night. Borough getting another win, 4-0 win over Preston on Tuesday night, which is, what a win that is. What a win with how Preston have started as well. But the positive for Leeds is Hayden Hackney, who's flying, who's been in the England development squad with the likes of Darko JB. May not be available for Saturday's game against Leeds United, and Dale Fry as well, who's been a permanent feature in that Borough side for a long time now, and he's still relatively young. I don't want to be looking too far ahead, but that's good news, you know. 2 very crucial players for Middlesbrough, but as I keep saying, everybody, it's massive tonight. These next 2 fixtures are big. It really is a big 2. And the reason behind that is because these teams are gaining on us now. And obviously, you know, you're getting one of the top 2 winning every single week, really. I think we've had 1 week where they haven't. And Leeds can't really make mistakes. That's the thing right now. You know, you're seeing a lot of people coming out and saying our Leeds are inconsistent. I'm talking about a certain podcast, which we don't need to go on about. But Leeds are inconsistent, blah, 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 blah. We're not. The difference is you've just got teams in and around us who are being very, very consistent, you know, and gaining a fair bit of momentum as well. So, yeah, as Alex said, it is a must-win. Michael says, Connor, I have a light blue shirt in large, really good condition. If you wanted to buy it, is it the Packard Bell one, mate? Send us a message on Instagram. If you got a name on the back, even better. I'm a bit of a child when it comes to names on the back, to be honest with you. Gavin says we need 6 points after Rotherham mess. Yeah. Colin says we need another striker in Jan. I forget promotion as our front 4 aren't consistently scoring. Perot for 10 million is not producing. It was actually more than that, mate. It was 16 million. I think we need to see more from Yoel Perot. We were talking the other night on the debrief, and we were talking about Elan Melier, and we did do a bit of a segment on Melier. But, you know, if you're comparing positions, you know, Melier has produced some really good saves, as Yoel Perot's provided some really good moments, but Elan Melier's provided mistakes as well. So he's had some good moments, but he's had mistakes as well. Yoel Perot has had good moments, but he really should have put some chances away as well, which, you know, I'm looking at the Leicester game, I'm looking at the Rotherham game, I'm thinking to myself, you know, he's got to put some of these chances away when he's on the edge of the area and he's in a really decent position. Now, I know he's fluid with that front 4, but we need more than that. We don't just need him being fluid and sexy on the eye. We need him actually to be putting the ball in the back of the net. And 6 goals in, 13, 14 games? We need to see more from him. I know it's 1 in 2, and that was his record at Swansea. But I still want to see more from him for 16 million quid, to be honest with you. Excuse me. Justice says, smash the like. Yeah, guys, would really appreciate that. My whole point there, everybody, is that, you know, we can blame Elan Melier, but there's other positions maybe that aren't fully performing as well. Comment from Daniel Igar the Boneless. Agar, thanks so much, mate. Really appreciate your donation. Hey, Connor, what young Prem player would you bring in January? For me, Daniel, it would be Michael Obafemi. He's at Burnley now. He's barely played any minutes. He was fantastic when he played for Swansea. I think it was like a year or 2 ago now. I think it was last year, actually. Played up front with Yoel Perot. They had a really, really decent relationship. They're playing a 3 up top, or they're playing a 2 up top as well. And Perot complemented him really, really well. And I think Michael Obafemi would come in on the premise and willing to be, you know, in a bit of a battle with maybe Jorginho Rutter for that starting spot. He's lightning quick. I don't think he'd need a guarantee that he's going to be playing every week. I think he'd like that challenge, just if he had the guarantee of when we got to the Premier League, he'd have more minutes than he's having at Burnley right now. And I think he's got a lot of talent. I really do. I think he's got a lot in his locker. So yeah, I'd be looking at someone like Michael Obafemi. We've got to think of players that can transition to the Prem. We've got to also think of players that, you know, are going to fit now and be happy with the process that we've got now and won't disrupt it. You know, him and Joe Pro seemed at Swansea to have a good friendship as well. You know, they're always laughing and joking in post-match interviews, and you know you can't take too much from that. But he seems to be a really nice chap. And lots of managers, including Vincent Kompany, have spoken highly of him. So it seems like he's got a good character. Could he fit in? Probably. And I think that would be a really good addition. We can't just think of goals right now. We've also got to think, how will he fit into the group? Is he going to be able to play Prem football? Are we going to be able to, you know, make him an option within these Leeds United ranks? So I'd look at Michael Obafemi. Yeah, not played a lot of minutes at all at Burnley. And like Ian Maatsen as well at Chelsea, formerly of Burnley. I think, you know, these players do need minutes, and Maatsen and Obafemi will be incredible loan signings. So yeah, that would be my answer, mate. Straight off the dome there. So the lineup for tonight is an interesting shout. As I've said several times, I think for me, Remy says, do we need more young players? I think, Remy, I would be looking at making someone like Michael Obafemi coming in if Joe Gelhardt is to go out, which I think he will. So that's like for like, really, isn't it? I think tonight, and I could be wrong, and I hope he comes in tonight and scores. I really do. But for me tonight, I'd be looking at bringing Willie Nyonso in and Sam Byram, which means Dan James going out and Junior FIRPO also going out. I think it makes more sense. I think Byram's solid, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you hate Byram." That's absolute rubbish. I don't hate Byram whatsoever. I really admire what he's done at Leeds and admire his injury record and admire how his performances have been so high with the stuff that he's had to deal with. You know, barely having minutes at clubs. You know, suffering a lot of injuries, not really been able to gain any elements of form, I should say, and coming into this Leeds side and doing really, really well. I think it's been the perfect environment for him. Do I think he's good enough long term as a left back? I don't know. I see him as a superb rotation option along that back four. But I'd be putting Byram in because I think he's more consistent, he's more solid, and he has had a really good season so far, as I mentioned on my half-season player ratings not long ago. So yeah, I'd be putting Byram in there. And I'll be putting Willie Nyonso in that. I think playing players who are in form. Dan James isn't out of form, by the way. We all know that. He's not out of form. But I think Willie, when he's in form, is better than Dan James when he's in form. And I think for the first time this season, we've seen Willie Nyonso in the international break really hit form. And I honestly believe when he came on against Rotherham, he ignited the entire team. I really do. I thought he was a real spark, beat his man 2 or 3 times, fired some brilliant crosses in, one which should have been a goal for Leeds. And I think you play players on a meritocracy again. You know, if they're performing, I know it's only been a little brief one for Willie Nyonso, but if they're performing and they're looking good and they've looked good in the international break, you've got to reward them, especially when they've got the ceiling of Willie Nyonso. What would you guys do tonight? Let me know. Danny says, excuse me, I think Byram is the only change tonight. Excuse me. Be careful. Don't slip. We should be able to get 3 points, I hope. Yeah, apologies, Remy. We'll be pointless beating Leicester City and Ipswich if we don't capitalise and take 3 points in the next few games. Yeah, I agree. I think I was muted. We're just muted for a comment there. Is that true? Yeah, is that right? But yeah. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, everybody. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But interesting to hear what you guys have to say about that one. Leeds United have now accepted that they were under-resourced on the recruitment front during Victor Orta's time as sporting director. In Phil Hayes' latest piece on The Athletic, he reports that Leeds now acknowledge that they didn't have the sufficient number of staff to oversee countless requirements of the football club. Really big sort of like topical debate here. which can be on another video. Was Victor Orta helped? I sort of get it to an extent. But Jean-Kevin Augustin, Weston McKennie, Rodrigo, Llorente. You could even throw Robin Koch in there. The recruitment, and I get what Phil's saying. if he's directly talking about recruitment, and he might not be. I think he is from what I've gathered from that article. If he's directly talking about recruitment, he is fully to blame. And under-resourced to an extent. To an extent, I think he's right. But I also think that Victor Orta's spending was embarrassing at points. Absolutely embarrassing. You know, I was speaking yesterday, he was willing to spend 40 million quid on Noah Lang. And that might have been a great, addition. It might have been a great addition. But, Bielsa didn't want him ultimately. I mean, where's the discussion? Where's the communication? I think a lot of the communication was really slack between members of the Leeds United space. The Jean-Kevin Augustin thing was just an absolute embarrassment. And that was under Victor Orta. It was under Radrizzani ultimately. But I think there was enough funds there from Radrizzani. And I understand behind the scenes, nothing evolved. The same people were still there, as we all know, the boys club in the back. And it needed to develop. Of course it did. But for me, it's really difficult to say that there wasn't the resources there. There were the resources there. We spent a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. And a lot of it was wasted. And a lot of it was insignificant because we got relegated in our, third season. So it wasn't good enough and it wasn't well spent. So as much as I do blame Radrizzani, I find it difficult in a sense because Victor Orta just made bad signing after bad signing for high value. And yeah, for me, he made some shrewd moves, of course it is, but no way do they outweigh the amount of money this geezer was throwing away for Leeds United, and it was a lot. Gavin says in discussion with major firm. We'll get onto this just now. Phil has reported Elland Road developments. Thanks, Gav, for that, mate. Elland Road redevelopment on the cards with Leeds United discussions with major firm. There's a redevelopment of Elland Road. Could be on the cards as 49ers Enterprise have already met with major architectural firm, according to Phil Hay. The athletic journalist Phil Hay wrote on the 29th that Leeds are looking for a modern home, which is good. As we all know, it's progress on and off the pitch. And I think this has been the 49ers' main sort of, port of call, really. They've wanted to develop the stadium. They've wanted to make it better. They wanted to bring Elland Road into the 21st century, really, which it doesn't feel like it is at the minute. So that's all good news. But guys, listen, I'm gonna leave it there just because we've got the watch along tonight where we're gonna be watching the game. And yeah, I really enjoy the watch-alongs. I enjoy the post-match stuff as well. So please make sure you join in. Honestly, I want to see 200 of you in the building right now on an impromptu rumour mill. I want to see you all in the building. There's 60% of you who aren't subscribed to the channel, but you watch the videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, everybody. Just means you get notified anytime I upload. It's easier for you. It's easier for me. Before you leave, slap a like on the video. Do you enjoy these 10 o'clock lives? If you do, I know it's great for the Aussies. I'll try to do them more often. I said it the other week, but now I've got a clean bill where I can really go at it. But yeah, and guys, I'm going to be looking at doing this for multiple hours per week. So let's hope that it's going to be a Leeds United win tonight. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win against Swansea. Get your comments in the section below. Check out the debrief from yesterday. Check out all the content from the last week. It's all relevant. It's all worth it. Please make sure you're supporting the channel. If you want to head over to Patreon, we'll be having a Generation Leeds very, very soon. We've got additional transfer content on there. Guys, it's going to be a rocky one tonight, but I think it's going to be one that we're all going to enjoy. Leeds United against Swansea City. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you in a bit.